Yiqing. My student number is 49.
I'm Kiki. My Chinese name is Lin Jiaqi, and my student number is 9.
Hi, I'm Nicole Xiaoya Li, and my student number is 23.
Okay.
So today we are going to talk about Louis Theroux's
LA stories among the sex offenders.
Okay.
So, what do you think about the TV show?
I like it. I think it is very interesting because it shows the side in society that we not normally can see. Something that we cannot see in our daily lives, especially the criminal part, how they live, how they think about their past, how they interact with people.
How about you?
I think it's also interesting too because if Mark didn't show us this video, I wouldn't know that LA or America has this kind of system that they would keep a list of all the sex offenders and like where they live, what crime did they commit. Maybe I would like to find out some more these kind of videos. And what about you, Eva?
I think it's cool because it's a group of people that we haven't interact with. So by watching the video, we can know their thoughts, and I'm also nervous when Louis Theroux asks them some questions because those questions are a little bit sharp, like what you done before.
Yes, a straight question.
Yes.
What did you do?
So I'm nervous because I assume they may want to punch him.
Oh, you think that they might be aggressive when he asks this kind of question. That is, they might be sensitive to most of them.
And they might get angry and just lose control.
Yeah.
But I think the way he delivers his questions helps to make the conversation peaceful. And he always say that in a peaceful way.
Yeah, and that the way he asks the question and the way he talks will help him get the information he wants, but not by force. He just asks them and just stay quiet and maybe let them think what they have done. If they are willing to say, I think they will just still say it.
You mean his tone is calm?
Yeah.
Want to get an answer, just not like to doubt you.
Yeah,
Not like
judging.
He's
just like chatting.
He tries to make the judgments not so obvious because I think there will always be judgments when you're trying to speak with someone, but he tries to make that not so obvious.
Yeah,
I think
that he's really good at it.
Yes.
And
there is, I remember so well that there's a person, he was always doing workout, that he refuses to answer the question that Louis was asking. He was asking that, what was the girl's attitude when you committed that crime? Because the man, the workout guy, he was saying that, her age is almost to the legal age to have sex. He was keep talking about that, but he never mentioned what the girl's feelings or attitude when all these things came out. And I wonder why he refused to say anything about that. What do you think?
I think that's because he haven't think about that. He haven't think about the girl's thought. He just did that.
Yeah, maybe he at that time he only concerned that what will happen to him after this, what he have done was discovered. And also I think that maybe like nobody had asked him about this before. until
Okay.
Louis
Oh.
Theroux.
You mean that is too
Yeah, because like maybe
Abrupt.
in social media or news, most of the reporters will only focus on what the criminal, like why do you do this, and very few, I think, that they will think about what the victims are thinking, and they just focus on why do you do this. Like we all see on the TV news, right? Like the reporters are giving the microphone to the criminals and keep asking why do you do this? Why do you do this?
But I think,
What do
you first.
No, you go.
I was thinking that it was quite different from your answers because I think he knows what the girl's thinking about. I think he knows, but he still keep on doing it. Like he was forcing her because I think the crime he committed is actually rape or having sex with underage girl. But I think in his, deep in his heart, he knows he has done something wrong, and at that time he knows he's doing something that was not, not so okay at that time. So I think it was mostly that he was feeling afraid to expose to the camera and talking about how he knows the girl's feelings and he still committed that kind of crime. He was afraid, I think, to admit that the girl is not willing, or the girl is actually very sad or hurt after this incident.
Confusing.
Yeah.
I can understand.
Yeah. So like he lives on the street.
Oh yes.
And he lives in his van.
He was not in a community.
Yeah.
Is it allowable? How you can do that?
I think it's legal, just you are out of the areas that you are not supposed to go.
Oh.
Maybe. And I think it's more convenient because you can just move wherever you want at any time you want.
But I remember he said he still can't go to parks, right?
Yeah,
He still can go to
there are
the
kids.
beach, right?
Yeah, the beach, that part is also like no one tells him that you can't go there but he got caught back to prison because of that.
Oh yeah, he ignored the rules, and he was very angry. I remember in the video, he was complaining to Louis that he thinks the freedom right now was not real freedom for him. He was actually very, very angry about the law, which is, I think, one of the main subjects of this video is to try to discuss whether this kind of restrictions on these sexual offenders is reasonable or
Too much.
Yeah, or too much.
But I think, did you remember the last part about his words? Like Louis Theroux asked, "What do you want to do in the future?" He said, "I would just want to have a good life. I want to achieve my dream, something like that." I think that's not bad because he although he have done something bad before, but he at least now he know he is walking on the right path.
Yeah.
In his mind, he know I want to do great thing and to achieve his goal.
But in my opinion, of course, he's gonna say that in front of camera. Of course, everyone want a good life, want to have a fresh start. But maybe one time in the future, he's gonna lose control, and maybe do it again. That's why there's so much restrictions on them. But it also seems not so reasonable because, like Amy Beck, she looks like she's trying to change herself. She looks like she's behaving, but the restriction is making her really frustrated. Like you can tell that.
Yeah, she just feel really sad. You can see in the video that she's really sad that she couldn't talk to her kids or even have more than one photo. Because I think she haven't seen her kids for like a couple of years,
Yours?
I think.
I'm not sure.
But
But anyway, that
at
was
least a year.
Yeah. It was still sad that she can see her children.
Yeah, because she's the mother, and
Yeah.
like she did something wrong and have sex with other underage boy. But I'm really confused that why does this have like sort of also punished her kids?
Yeah.
Um,
What's the relevance between her kids and this?
other her students.
Yeah. And yeah, it was almost as if they were punishing her kids, not herself, right? Because the kids cannot see their mother because something the mother did, not because the kid did something. It's because their mother did something bad, but now the kids are being punished because they cannot see their mother. And that was the worst part about this law, about this restriction.
It's a bit messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, the rule is just too many to follow. Just like during the Halloween, they couldn't have like have a bowl of candy right next to the door or something.
But I actually can understand that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like trick or treat and the
So
kids
many
are
children.
grabbing.
You don't know what
And it
they
was
will
at
do.
night. How do you
Yeah.
know what they're gonna do?
Yeah.
If there are children coming to their
Because
houses?
in the state parole, the state parole, if some state parole is not that nice, they will arrest you for just finding like maybe 3 pieces of candy.
Oh.
I don't know if there's that kind of parole, but at least in the video we see they are kind of nice, I think.
But I think one thing is very interesting is that the attitude of the parole man. He said that Louis Theroux asked him about what do you think about this kind of law, not allowing them to have candies in house during Halloween. And the parole says it actually makes sense because what do you know what they can do? But also from the other side, I also think that they can't enjoy festival or anything because you can see children with their parents around festivals or holidays. But I think holidays and festivals is kind of like the part of the normal lives. And if you want them to become an ordinary people again, maybe to some extent you should allow them to enjoy or
interact
with other people so that they can get back on track into the society.
But there still might be some risk because Halloween is for kids, and kids will like go on the street and trick or treating, and there might not be adults with them, so it still has some risk and danger.
And I think it's also strange for a group of children to visit an area full of sex offenders.
I think their parents will told them don't go there if they are aware that the sex offenders live there. So also like the list, they made a website with full of sex offenders. What do you think? What do you think about that? Because once you commit some crime and you are a sex offender, your name will be on that list for the rest of your life. What do you think?
Okay, so as a parent, if I'm a parent, I want to be aware of that group of people will maybe live around my neighborhood, so I can be aware of their existence, so I can protect my children, to keep away my children from them. So it's a benefit. But on the other hand, I think that will make us to be suspicious about the people around us. We may want to check out anyone that we know. And when we really know that he's a sex offender, I my trust toward him will just completely went away.
Yeah.
You become really suspicious at anyone else near you.
I think that was one big problem was trust to this kind of criminal, because you can almost never trust them, because how do you know if they're gonna do something to your children or to you when they're living around you, right? And you're gonna see them on the streets. Are you gonna feel safe? I don't think I'm gonna feel safe if I saw them on the streets.
Yeah.
Maybe I have a more positive look on this list. I would feel like, as a normal person, I will hope that I can have some of the clues to know that, okay, there are some people that are not so good in our neighborhood, and I should watch out. And this helps me with that. The list can help me with that. So maybe it makes me feel safer.
I think the list can be as awareness. Let us know that there's someone living near us that is not so good. But on the other hand, I think it might be a bad thing for the sex offenders.
Yes. They may get bad comments or bad effects. You can feel people's uncomfortable eyesight towards you.
It's a barrier that they are hard to break. Return to the ordinary world.
Well, it surely is cruel for them to have to live under this kind of condition, facing other people's sights, and they're gonna say things behind them.
And maybe some of them only made the mistake for one time. And they are have to
be
they
punished
have the
for
record
it.
for this for the rest of their lives. So it's a bit unfair, because maybe those people, they are really willing to change, and just because that one mistake, they are ruined for forever. So maybe the law needs some changing, I guess. Maybe for a limit of time, the record can be erased from that website.
Oh yeah, maybe after
10 years or more. I don't know, but at least not forever.
Yeah, forever is a little bit too
long.
Maybe you can have 10 years. So in 10 years, your face is on the internet, and what did you do? And maybe after 10 years, you can erase that data. Because I think no one will wait for 10 years, okay, I'll wait for 10 years, 10 years.
I'll wait.
And after 10 years, I'll do it again. And that is kind of, but how do you know maybe someone was going to do that?
Yeah, but I think what I mentioned, for 10 years, your record can be erased. I think it can only apply to those who only commit one time.
You mean more like...
But if you do it more than 2 times, you are forbid to erase that record.
Maybe.
Only for those who did one time, like rape or other things. So it's maybe a chance for them to turn over a new leaf.
This actually makes me think of something that Mark said it in class, which is, why do we have this kind of list for sex offenders, but not for thieves or bank robbers? He was talking about that, this kind of damage, the damage that these kind of people make can last forever on the victims. They're gonna dream about, they're gonna have nightmares, they're gonna have extremely bad trauma about the crime that I did to them.
So you think thieves or other robbers don't have to have this kind of list?
Actually, I don't think so. I don't think they do. They have to be shown on the internet, because actually when a bank's being robbed, I just hope that no one gets hurt, and I don't really care about the money inside the bank.
What if the robber lives right next to you? or a thief?
I don't know. I think it's strange that actually I don't think I have that kind of stereotype that I think bank robbers don't rob normal people. I have this kind of stereotypes.
I think compared to our body, our
Mental health.
yeah, some money or object is not so
Important.
important.
Replaceable.
Yeah, replaceable.
But what if, like, the thief stole your money and the money will cause you, like, maybe you couldn't pay for medical treatment or other things that might affect your life?
But still, I think this kind of crime, like thief, bank robbers, I have this kind of feeling, like this kind of mindset that I think these kind of crimes can be educated more easily. It's like unless they have some kind of mental malfunctions, unless this is a habit. But we see in the video that many of the sex crimes, like the one who masturbates in front of people, it seems as if this becomes a habit, not something that he was forced to. He was forced by himself, But like thief, bank robbers, I feel like they were forced by their financial condition. They were trying to improve that. But sex offenders, I don't know. What do you think
about sex offenders?
Maybe sex offenders are harder to be educated, but thieves are more easily.
I think the difference is the time that they need. Because, like what you said, the man who masturbates or showing his private part to others, he did that since he was a kid, like 14 or some, I don't know.
9?
Oh, 9.
9.
He said he did it.
Yeah,
since he was 9.
So it's a misconcept for him, I think, because he had that kind of thinking when he was little, and to him it was normal, but to us it's obvious not right. So I think he really needs time to have someone to tell him that it is wrong.
Yes, like he have to I think people, lots of sex offenders should get counsel. So, like teacher or counselor can, counselor can guide you to say something to find out your core problem, so that later in your life you will leave a more bigger impact to you. You will know, when you really want to do that, you will know, I shouldn't do that. Your heart will tell you, don't do that. So I think for that man who will show his private part to women, he can take drugs and also get counseled.
And maybe get a therapist.
Yeah.
And well, also in the video, like we saw Louis Theroux asked him if he take off his pants right now.
Oh yeah.
Like, what would he think? Will he do it? And the man said no, right?
Yeah.
So from this we can see that he also knows that it is strange to do that in front of a stranger. But when he actually do it in front of other women, he think it's like he just want their attention. But I think it's in a different time that when his mind is different, he will do it.
I think that's because in that situation, when he sees a woman,
Attractive women.
yes, his desire will above his urge.
Conscience.
Yeah, his conscience.
But I really like that scene about you just said that you say he knew that this was wrong to show your private parts in front of strangers. But I think it was only in that moment. In that moment, he has realized. I think Louis Theroux kind of educated him about, look, you're not going to show us your private part now, right? Because there are camera and there are people, and we are strangers to him. But he said, yeah, it makes sense. But isn't it the same with women? Why do you think that women will be concerned for you, but men will be not concerned for you? They will be scared. Like, what's the logic behind it? Isn't it like kind of the twisted logic that he thinks that, okay, women will feel concerned for me, but if I do it in front of Louis Theroux, then he will be shocked. That will be very shocking. He said it himself. He said it himself that this will be really weird. But he never think of that when he was doing it in front of a woman, and that was we can see the conflicts in his mind at that moment in that scene. Do you feel the same way?
It's interesting to
see.
to know that what he thinks when he's doing it.
Yeah.
Because it's really different from what we are expecting, the answer we're expecting. That we all know that the woman might be scared, but what he thinks was that the woman is concerned, they are worried for him. So nobody ever told him that it is wrong, so he just kept doing it. I think that's the reason or a cause that make him do this.
So I think the most important part is, instead of just grouping all the sex offenders together, what can we do to help them come back to a real society and not do it again?
I think this is a very difficult question because if we don't gather them together, live in a community, they will be, living like around us, like they will be scattering around.
Oh, sorry. Let me make my statement more clear.
Okay.
I mean, besides doing that, what can we do? Besides grouping them together.
What will be the better way to help them? Help them.
Maybe just give them a chance to find a new job, which they are capable of. Like maybe some jobs that are matched to their interest, but not like what the crime they did, but just normal jobs, like maybe.
But then you are gonna have to have someone who is willing to give them jobs.
And maybe the police or the court will need to ask maybe some owner or employer that are willing to give them a chance.
And they don't have to, they can lower tax, something like that.
Lower what?
I mean the store who are willing to
tax.
hire them.
You mean lower their tax?
Yes.
And maybe have some benefit, I think, if the owner are willing to give them a job. Well, but maybe the job is like a test for them. We'll see how they do in a week, and they will consider whether or not to really hire them. I think that might be a way to get them back to normal life.
Yes, because in the video we haven't seen that really have a job and earn money. We don't see that part.
Let's see. Craig, he was the guy who
Craig
gave the sex offenders houses. So I kind of wonder how could he?
Yes, why
he was able to do that job.
Yeah.
I'm kind of wondering that.
Maybe the reason is because he knows. Oh, because did you remember he said that liar? Yeah. You cannot lie to a liar.
You cannot count a con.
So I think one reason is because he knows what those sex offenders
are thinking.
Because he was once a sex offender himself.
Yes. and he can have empathy or towards them.
Yeah, you might know what they're thinking and what are the needs that they need to have when they're out of prison. Like, because he knew that they couldn't go back to their home, so they have to provide some places for them to live.
Yeah. It
And
was better than being homeless,
yeah,
because then it will be very hard to monitor their lives, what they're doing.
and I think it's kind of sad that they cannot return home after they're out of prison, just because their house is maybe near to a school or a park. I think it's a bit sad and not fair.
Yeah, because it was their property, and they should have the same rights when they're out of jail. But maybe after parole, can they go back to their house
I don't know.
if they behave
The
well?
video didn't show
what
after the parole.
And I'm curious about why the man who manage those sex offenders, why he is so angry when he saw a guy like selling some drug.
Oh,
Is he
buying
drugs?
Oh, he saw a guy who is selling drugs,
Selling or buying?
going into
Oh.
the community.
Yeah, without permission.
Yeah. You mean why he was so angry?
Or why he said he pretended, right,
He pretend.
to be very angry.
Oh,
To that
Oh,
that
That
man.
he need to make sure that his authority is above them.
oh. He was trying to say that there shouldn't be an excuse, because he should show an attitude that to the people, to show them that you shouldn't have any excuse when these kind of things happen. I think he was trying to show that when he was being a little bit more aggressive, more aggressive than before.
So he just set a strict line. You cannot move anywhere. You can just.
Not even let me see that guy coming in. Yeah. And but we never know if he's really did buy the drugs.
Yeah.
The guy with the ponytail.
Yeah. And a cat.
And he was also a interesting person in the video. Like, he cried at the end.
Yeah, he cried.
He got really emotional at last. And I was curious about why he got so emotional at the end of the video. That he was talking about that he doesn't want to live anymore. He wants to die. He doesn't want to make any, life improvements. I feel like he was inside a trap, and it seems easy not to rape others, but it seems hard for him. Don't you feel like it was hard for him to get out of the box of sex offenders? Maybe that's why he wanted to end his life. He doesn't want to live anymore. What do you think?
Painful.
Oh, he feels
That
tempted.
there's too much pressure.
Oh yeah, the restrictions.
Yeah, the restrictions are just too much that he didn't know what to do anymore. Yeah.
Okay. I
So-
guess that's for all for our discussion.
Bye
Bye,
bye.
Mark.